The Romance of Shaolin 3. Wuxing enters the monastery. In the 4th year of the Hongshu era, 604 AD, Yang Guang assassinated Emperor Wen and established himself as emperor, known as Emperor Yang of the Sui dynasty. He was a man of shameless debauchery and boundless extravagance. He launched massive construction projects that exhausted the people and drained the treasury, making him one of the most notorious tyrants in history. The imperial court imposed exorbitant taxes, and the burden of forced labor on the people grew heavier by the day. Coupled with layers of exploitation by local officials, the common folk were plunged into misery. Unable to endure any longer, they gathered in the mountains and forests to raise the banner of rebellion. On Zhigang Mountain, a rebel force of about 700 or 800 people had gathered. There were 3 leaders: the chief, Bai Yanshen, a descendant of Bai Guangping, a general from the Gai War uprising of the Northern Wei period, was an upright and honest man. The second in command, Zhang Bao, and the third in command, Su Kui, both came from humble, grassroots origins. One day, Bai Yanshen led some of his men down the mountain to take from the rich and give to the poor by raiding a wealthy household. As he watched the impoverished villagers carry away life-saving grain with expressions of excitement, he felt an indescribable sense of satisfaction. By this time, the other rebels had already started heading back up the mountain. He and a few of his personal bodyguards, however, waited until the very last person had received their share of grain before slowly beginning their return journey. Suddenly, the sound of crying carried on the wind. The sound was sorrowful and intermittent, and though it was not loud, it was heart-wrenching to hear. He followed the sound, searching slowly, and soon spotted an old woman in a mountain hollow. She had already fashioned a noose on a tree branch, and was about to hang herself. Yanshen was greatly alarmed and was about to rush forward to save her, but the old woman had already placed her neck in the noose and kicked her feet off the ground. There was no time to lose. Yanshen quickly took a bow and arrow from one of his bodyguards, drew the string, and with a swoosh, let the arrow fly. The hemp rope snapped under the force of the arrow, and the old woman fell to the ground. Yanshen rushed forward, gathered her in his arms, and began calling out to her.
To watch more and for more comic books, visit https://payhip.com/kenlecomic.